Humans should always know that if at some point we adopt a pet, it is to give it a lot of love and protection. Animals, specifically dogs, can understand very well everything you do. And if we at some point mistreat them or throw them out on the street, in the future we may receive a life lesson that'll teach us the value. The following story is of Rebecca and Wilson, an engaged couple who lived in California in the US. They met in college, and Rebecca's parents were humble. They had a farm with animals that they built and sold. Wilson's parents were excellent veterinarians. After graduating from school, Rebecca asked her parents to send her to the capital so that she could study veterinary medicine because from an early age she had admired how her parents treated the animals at the farm. Meanwhile, although Wilson's parents were veterinarians, he always pretended to love and treat animals well. As time went by, Wilson and Rebecca would finish school. The young woman by the age of 18 left the city and went to the capital for university studies, while the young man Wilson had to follow a veterinary career or else his father would cut him out of his will. Wilson skipped classes during the first few weeks and his grades were very discouraging, so his father came to check on him. "The university just called and told me that you don't want to study. Tell me, what do you want to do in your life? Think before you answer," said his father. After Wilson's father left for California, Wilson cried for a whole day, then pulled himself together and went to class. While waiting outside the classroom, a beautiful young woman arrived. They stared at each other and she came up to him and said, "Hi, are you also in the veterinary class?" "Yes," said Wilson. "Nice to meet you. My name's Rebecca. I'm new here too." Wilson smiled a little and introduced himself, and the two began talking and getting to know each other. Wilson and Rebecca became fast friends and did everything together. Even though Wilson didn't like to vaccinate or touch animals during practice hours, out of love for Rebecca, he did. After several outings with Rebecca, they became sweethearts. Both were very much in love. As time went by, they would finish their veterinary studies. Wilson was not very happy because it wasn't his thing, and Rebecca noticed it on graduation day. "My love, what's wrong? Why are you like this?" But he told her everything was fine. His parents attended the ceremony and congratulated him. After that, he stayed in the capital with Rebecca, looking for work in fields other than his own. Rebecca thought this was very strange but ignored it. After dating for several years, he asked her for her hand and they tied the knot. After a while, Wilson found a job as a delivery and security man in a nearby store, but it earned him way less than his wife. Gradually, his wife became annoyed by his decision and asked him to find a real job. "Wilson, you spend so much time studying. Don't you want to work for something that pays more?" Wilson couldn't tell her the truth. One night, Rebecca arrived home exhausted, but at the same time very happy. "Wilson, look, this little dog accompanied me all the way. It's dirty but adorable, looks abandoned." Wilson saw her and shouted, "Take this filthy animal out of here. Must have fleas. Throw it into the street where it belongs." After having a loud argument, the little dog stayed home. Disappointed, she looked away and said, "I don't understand how you can be a vet and not like animals." Days went by and Wilson would often come home early. The little dog would come up to him jumping and licking, then Wilson would kick her away. "Get out of here, you dirty dog." They named her Rafita and she would go to bed crying. When Rebecca arrives, she looks at the sad dog, often with shoe marks on her muzzle, and asks her husband, "What happened to Rafita? Why is she like this?" Wilson lies and tells her that he hit her by mistake. A few months later, Rebecca gets pregnant. Wilson was ecstatic, but their relationship was not very good. During this time, Wilson treated Rafita poorly. He threw her out on the street while it rained heavily without food. After that, he'd go out to look for her, and an hour before Rebecca arrived, he'd take her home. Months passed and Rebecca gave birth to a beautiful baby boy named Gerardo. When Rebecca returned home from the hospital, Rafita was filled with happiness, wagging her little tail. "Look, this is your little brother. You have to take care of him. I love you both very much," Rebecca told Rafita. Wilson kicked Rafita and Rebecca, surprised and furious, told him to leave the house because she couldn't stand him anymore. Wilson smiled and asked her, "You prefer this filthy creature to me? Stay with her. I'm out of here." Wilson left the house and his wife alone. On the other hand, Rafita was pregnant. One night, Rebecca heard loud cries and saw her giving birth. After several months, Wilson wanted revenge. He tried to take the baby away from Rebecca and make Rafita disappear. One day, his wife went out to buy diapers while her son slept. He took advantage of the situation and used the old home keys to open the door softly. Rafita recognized him, so she didn't bark. Upon seeing her, Wilson took matters into his own hands and beat her in front of her puppies. While the puppy was crying, his son got up. Wilson grabbed him from his crib and wanted to take him away, but Rafita would not let him and bit him, so he delicately let go of the baby. At that moment, a neighbor heard the dog barking and called the police. They immediately arrived at the house and opened the door to see the dog lying next to the baby. At that moment, Rebecca returned and saw what had happened. She told the officers, "It's not the first time he hit my pet. Take him away." Upon checking the security camera she installed in the house, the officers saw everything Wilson did and arrested her. Rebecca took care of Rafita's injuries and returned her to her pups. At last, Wilson told Rebecca the truth. He never wanted to become a veterinarian. She answered, "If you loved me, I would have helped you change your career." She divorced from him and continued her life with Rafita and her son, while Wilson got a life lesson. Well, dear friends, this is the end of today's story. We hope you like it. In your opinion, did Rebecca do the right thing? If you like this story, give us a like and leave us your valuable feedback. If you haven't subscribed already, we invite you to do so and click on the notification bell so you'll always be notified when we publish new, shocking stories like this one. See you next time.